I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're delving into the inspiring children's story, The Luckiest Bear. It's written by a terrific author. His name is Jason McDaniel. This delightful tale about Beanie, a bear who teaches us that success is rooted in dedication and hard work, offers invaluable lessons for young readers and adults alike. Join us as we explore the story behind this heartwarming book and its powerful message of perseverance and preparation. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Jason, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me. This is a terrific book. I see colorful drawings behind you. Are you inspired by the children in your life? Tell us a little bit about the inspiration to create The Luckiest Bear.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. When you grow up as a young man, you kind of grow up with a sense of invincibility that you're going to live forever, and then you quickly get older and realize that's not exactly the case. You have kids, and so for me, my inspiration was my two boys, and really was, how do I convey the most important lessons in life through stories that they're going to understand?
Now, did you tell them this story before you wrote it? Is this something you kind of made up at night when you were tucking them in, that kind of thing? Tell us a little bit about the writing process.
Yeah, so the writing process for me actually happened after I had my first son, when I kind of came to that realization that I needed to pass on some lessons to him. And what I did was, is it was during the time of the Olympics, and I was watching the sprinter Usain Bolt, and he's probably performed for maybe a couple of minutes that we've seen, but he's actually worked hard for tens of thousands of hours for those 2 minutes. And so I wanted to convey to my kids about hard work and what goes into that one performance, whether it be Usain Bolt, or it could be their best friend who gets a perfect score on their math test. How much they worked to actually prepare for that is what matters, not the actual performance themselves. The stick with itness.
Exactly. I think that's a great example and a great person to point to. All of the GOATs out there, whether they're Tom Brady playing on the field for an hour or Usain Bolt running down a track for 90 seconds as the fastest man on earth, it's years and months of dedication to get to that point. So that's a powerful message for sure. Let's give the folks at home an overview of The Luckiest Bear. Tell them about the story.
Yeah, so we started out, and I wanted to make him look, and if you look at the illustrations, he's dressed in overalls, so that kind of gives the appearance of hard work. But the book starts out with the bear doing things relatively easily, winning relatively easily, completing all of his tasks that he has to do relatively easily, and he kind of gains a lot of fame that way. And people celebrate that fame, and they celebrate his accomplishments. And then as the book goes through, during one of his instances where everybody's celebrating him, he kind of sneaks off. And one of his fans follows him just to kind of see, what's going on. Why is he sneaking off, from his celebration that everybody's celebrating him? And she finds out that he's sneaking away from the celebration to go work hard, to go lift weights, to jump, to practice. And so she comes away with a lesson that, it's not about he's just not great at what he does because he's just naturally gifted. He actually works really hard to become the way that he is.
Wonderful. That's a great lesson and really a cute story. And I'm going to look at bears differently going forward now, seeing if they're getting jacked in the back room in
That's right.
between next time on my hunting trail. Um, Tell us a little bit about your vision for this book. Are you going to write more? Are you planning a sequel? Will this be a series? Tell us a little bit about your plans.
Yeah, so I never really intended to publish a book. I have a number of stories. I studied a lot of philosophy when I was in college. And
Mhm.
so I'm a really, really big quote person. And this book is based on the quote attributed to Thomas Jefferson: I'm a great believer in luck. I find the harder I work, the more luck I have. And I've written a number of different stories based off of my favorite quotes that I read to my children, that I have printed out at home. I don't know if I'll ever publish them. Maybe I will. But for me, it's how do I take my favorite quotes that have really ingrained a sense of values in myself and put them in a form to where children can understand the concepts of those quotes, because a lot of them are more advanced, and then carry them on to their everyday lives. So for me, I continue to write. I think it's a passion of mine, to where I want to convey these stories to my children. As far as publishing goes, Beanie the Bear is based off of kind of my oldest son's name, so I've had to rewrite a couple of them to include my youngest son as well. But we'll see what happens, moving forward.
Sounds great. Would you like to see it as like an animated short or something like that? Would you like to see a video made?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be great, especially for my kids and for my kids' friends and things like that. But yeah, it is. If I can impact at least one life, with the stories that these tell and the lessons that these convey, I think that would be amazing.
I think that'd be amazing as well. The work is out there. You never know whose hands it's going to wind up in. So Disney, Hulu, Nickelodeon, there's a great story here with a great moral and a great character ready to go. Let's turn it into a film or something. So put the message out there for sure. Well, you've impacted at least two lives,
Right.
and those are your children's. How did they react when they saw Dad's book in print?
Oh, they thought it was great. So I think for them, they really never saw Beanie the Bear, the illustrations of him. They just had heard him, and they put Beanie the Bear's image in their mind. And then when they saw it, they thought exactly, that's what we thought it was. We thought it was a big bear who with a beanie on his head and wore overalls, and who was really big. But they thought it was great. They have it up in their room now. I have a signed copy with a message for each one of them, and I think for them, it's really cool to see Dad's name on something that they can then take to their school and share with their friends.
Exactly. I mean, you're teaching them multiple lessons on many levels now, not only Beanie's story, but your story. You had a dream and put it into action, and now you've got the published proof of your hard work. And I think that's terrific for sure. You must be a great dad. I'm sure you're a great dad, and they're lucky to have you, no doubt. Talk to us a little bit about why you decided to write a book in the first place, as opposed to just telling stories to your children, that kind of thing. I guess you wanted to share it with other kids.
Yeah, I did want to share with, like I said, as many people as possible. For me, it was making an impact. I think that's why we're all here in the end, is to figure out how we can make an impact and make other people's lives better. So for me, just putting this down is almost like a release. It's a release of all the knowledge that I think I have and accumulated over my period of time here interacting with my friends and colleagues, and then how much can I pass down and impact other people's lives. So I think for me, publishing the book and seeing the positive responses that I've gotten from it so far, it means that there's a space for these type of messages with people, with adults and children alike.
Yeah, I love the idea of taking the quotes and turning them into a story, because it's really impactful for children. The illustrations are great. I know your children enjoyed them. How did you go about getting those made?
Yeah, so we just had a brainstorming session of how do we want people to look. There was a lot about Beanie the Bear on we want him to be big and strong, but we also want him to look like he's not above anyone else. He's not flashy, like I mentioned earlier. He wears overalls and beanie, things that kind of signify hard work. And so what we really wanted to do was make him part of the group, but also the hardest worker in the group, and that's how he excels.
Wonderful, wonderful. And it's based on that Thomas Jefferson quote, "I'm a firm believer in luck. The harder I work, the luckier I get." I think that is a terrific quote. I have heard it before, but I haven't been reminded of it in a long time. So this was a great reminder to our viewers as well, that this is a terrific book. It is called The Luckiest Bear. It is a delightful tale about Beanie, a bear who teaches us that success is rooted in dedication and hard work. The author offers invaluable lessons for young readers and adults alike. This is a heartwarming book that has a powerful message of perseverance and preparation. Jason, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Great to be here.
Great to have you on the show. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.